Market is selling off, asking one question. And we said this when it started happening, is how low do we go? Back in December, when the FOMC dot plot came out, we saw that the Fed had changed their mind after the election. Before the election, everybody was comfortable thinking we should lower a full basis point down to what, like 3.5, right? 100 basis points. 3.5 would be like the resting rate we'd be fine with. And all of a sudden, after Trump got elected, half of the Fed said, nope, 4 is it. They changed their stance, and half of the FOMC committee members were thinking we don't go any more than 50 basis points. So 225 cuts over the course of the year. And as we progress through December to now, the probability of that happening sooner became less and less. It probably became higher that it happened later. People were targeting December for a rate cut. And now, as the Michigan numbers are coming out, I mean, we're seeing these numbers, 4%, 5% on the expectation of the 5-year. The 5-year was on the dot plot that made the market crash to begin with. 5-year inflation expectation of 5% is bringing back memories of everybody of late 2021, when that's kind of where we were and the Fed started raising rates. And we had that little kind of correction, that mini 1-year, sell-off. And that's where we were. I mean, the market is certainly thinking the same thing. Now, again, Michigan numbers didn't reflect it, but the CPI was really, really high back then as well, right? If we're expecting 5-year inflation targets that are really high based on the tariffs, we're kind of back, or say the 1-year inflation expectation, we are back to having some short-term problems that's likely to have the Fed not lowering rates at all this year. This is what Wall Street's pricing in now. Inflation is the hot topic. It's not really gonna, it's the only bad news we have, and that's the thing. The market's responding because it's the only bad news we have. Everything else looks pretty decent. And inflation was the only bad news we had back then too. Quantitative tightening was one thing. That was the rumor that came out that started this. And of course, the rate hike announcements started that. So now everybody's saying Fed's probably gonna raise rates again. Inflation's going through the roof on the 5-year, or at least we're not cutting rates any further than where we are now. And that is why the market is asking, how low do we go? What is the value of all of that?